So the word is, singular word is jannatun. Jannatun means garden, or first meaning is garden. Okay, Jannatun means garden, or it also means paradise. Okay. Jannatun is the plural of this thing. Okay, so the word is, and it is written this way, Jannatun. Okay, Noon with an alif, fatha changes into alif, just like before. So the word, this is Jannatun, this is Jannatun. This means gardens, or also paradise. Because the plural of paradise is paradise, it's not paradises. Okay? So Jannatun means gardens. Okay? Now, one of the qualities of this word Anna, which means we translated that, is when it comes before a noun, feminine plural noun, it will change to Jannatin, just like we saw that Salihati. So, for them are gardens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for those people are gardens or paradise. Okay? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further explains that what is in those gardens or in the paradise. Okay? See, the first word is tajri. Tajri is from these letters, Jim, Ra and Ya. This means to flow. Something is flowing, like water is flowing. So we use the word Jim, Ra and Ya. Jari is the word also used, means to flow. Okay? Tajri, in the grammar, tajri means she or it flows. So you can say she flows or it flows. In English we will say it. In Arabic it is a feminine word. She is flowing, like it is flowing, like a water stream or a river is flowing, something like that is flowing. So this word is used for that. Tajri. Tajri, flows. So here we can just write down flows, because we will see what is flowing there, okay? Then the word is tahatun. One word is tahatun. Tahatun means below. The word tahatun means below something. Okay? And ha means it or her. Okay. So the meaning will be below it or below her. Below means below in the paradise, below somewhere. Okay? And min means of. Okay. These are three separate words. Okay. So first, when we read these together, we read tahatun and ha. The combination of these will pronounce tahtuha. When we combine these two, we do not pronounce two dhammas. We pronounce only one. So this will become tahtuha. Tahtuha means below it, below in the paradise. Like if you are standing in a higher place, then under there you will see the streams of water or rivers flowing there. Just like you're standing here on top of a mountain in a valley, you can see that under there rivers are flowing. Okay, so same concept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here. And min is a harf-e-jar. So harf-e-jar does one more thing, it changes this to a kasra. So the word now becomes tahtiha. Min tahtiha means from below it, at the bottom. Okay? So below it or from below it is the same meaning. Okay? Now the next word is from these letters Noon, Ha and Ra, and Naharun means stream or river of water. Nahar is where the water flows, it's called Nahar. Okay? And Naharun is the word, and Anharun is the plural of that. Anharun is streams or rivers. And this is river. So it's plural. Anharun is plural. And if we put al before that, it is the rivers or the streams. Okay? And when you put al before that, you pronounce only one dhamma here. So it will be al-anharu. That is the word in the Quran. The rivers or the streams. So this is the description of the gardens or the paradise. That first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that there will be rivers and streams of water flowing under there. Okay? And other places the more description is given where the streams of rivers are, streams of milk or honey or wine flowing in there. Okay? So this is anahar. Okay? So under there rivers are flowing. Okay? Then after that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the more description of this paradise. Okay? So the first word is kullama. Kullama simply means whenever. Okay? So whenever. Kullama, whenever. Because people will be there and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them a lot of things. So whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts the part of the ayat, then the word is Ra, Za and Qaf. Razaqam is to provide. To provide, it's like rizq, or anything to provide. Razaqa. Okay? So if I just go and put 3 fathas on this thing, Ra, Za, Qa. This is the grammar of third person past tense. So the meaning will be he provided. He provided. Third person past tense. Its plural is we put a vav at the end and becomes razaqu. Razaqu and put an alif means they provided. Okay. It's plural. He provided means one person, they provided, many people are giving you something. That's they provided. Okay. So here someone is or some people are giving something. Razaqu, they are provided. Okay. In English, this is active voice. Okay. If I make a minor change here in the harakat, its meaning will be different, and I'll write down first. If I take the first two letters here, first one has a fatah. If I change that to a dhamma, and the second letter has a fatah, if I change this to a kasra, okay, so the word now becomes ruziqu. Okay, that's the word in the Quran. What's the meaning of ruziqu? Ruziqu is passive, which they are provided. Okay, so the meaning will be they are provided. Okay, so the meaning totally changes.
So the meaning they who is
They are provided, they are given. Okay, first meaning razaqu means they gave.
so
Okay,
they give, they is Allah.
no, there is no Allah here in this word.
So if they
They is people.
Oh,
People who are living in the paradise now.
right.
So they are those people. Okay, now inside the paradise, if these people are giving something to someone, then you will say they provided or they gave. Okay, just instead of provided, gave. So they gave. Okay, but here when you say they are given, means they are receiving something. It's a passive voice.
The people in the paradise
In the paradise,
receive it.
they are receiving. Here they are receiving. Here they are giving. The meaning changes.
Right.
Active and passive voice. So here they are provided means maybe the angels or some other servants are giving them some fruits. They are being given something. They are offered something. So that's the meaning of ruziqu. Because they are taking now. Here someone is giving, here someone is taking. So people are going to take in the paradise whatever is given to them. Okay? So that's the meaning. Kullama ruziqu, whenever they are provided or whenever they are given something. Okay? They are provided. Okay? Min ha is made of two parts. Min means from or of, and ha means it, and it means your paradise. So minha means of the paradise or of the garden. Whenever they are given something, of it means of the garden. Okay. Now the next two words are samaratun. Samaratun means fruit. Samaratun means fruit. Okay? And the word before that is min, which can be translated as any. Any. Okay? And min is a harf jar, so it will change the sound of this to samaratin. Okay? So whenever they are given in it, in the paradise, some fruit. Okay? So some fruits are given to them to eat. Okay? Any fruit. Okay? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, rizqan. Rizq means rizq as a provision. Something to eat. Okay? So rizq, we know that rizq means provision or something to eat. So whenever these people are given some fruit in there, in the paradise, okay, they will say something, okay? And as I explained, before I translate, let me explain one more time. When people will receive fruits to eat, they will look at them and they will say, this is the same fruit we ate before. And now this has two meanings. Either they will recall that in this worldly life, they ate some fruit, like they ate an apple. And in the paradise, an apple is given to them, or some fruit is given. They say, this looks like apple. So we already ate this in the worldly life. That's one meaning. The other meaning is that they will be given some fruit to eat, and next day when they will receive a similar fruit, similar looking fruit, they will say, oh, we were given this in this paradise yesterday, but when they will eat it, its taste will be different. So even though the fruits look same, but their flavor may be different in the paradise. So both meanings are okay, that they will think that though we ate this like apple or this thing or that thing in our worldly life when we lived on the earth, it looks fruit in the paradise same, but its flavor and taste will be very different. Okay, so that is the words after that. So qalu, let's look at this word. This is first time a word is coming like this in reference to future or paradise. Okay. So the word is qaf, vav and lam. This means to say. And if I put three fathahs on of these, qaf, vav and lam, this is third person past tense, which is he said. Okay, and wow with a fatha sounds like an alif, so this is become qala. Qala means he said, and its plural will be, we put a wow at the end, qalu, they said. Now, this entire ayat is about future. This ayat is about future because we are reading now and we are hearing about the paradise that will happen later. But the word here is about the past tense. It should be they will say. When they will eat the fruit, they will say. But the grammar is they said. Okay? So that is something that we need to understand. The concept of time in Arabic is very different than what we know in English. In Arabic, in English, we have three times. We have a past tense, we have a present tense, and we have a future tense. And we have grammar for each three of those time frames. Okay? In Arabic, concept is very different of time. It has only two times, not three. Okay? And they don't have the past, present, and future either. What they have is that something which is definite and something which is not definite. For example, yesterday was definite because everybody knows that yesterday came. It is definite. Okay? Today is just a fraction of time. Tomorrow may never come. Okay? So tomorrow is indefinite. Yesterday was definite. And present tense is almost nothing because it comes and goes so fast that we don't even know how long was the present. Every second is a present second that we are talking. Okay? So present is very small. Future may never come. Indefinite. Past is definite. Okay? So that is how Arabic concept of time is. Either it is sure or it is nothing at all. Okay? So two things are definite in Arabic with reference to the Quran. Yesterday was definite. We know that a prophet came, okay? Or something happened, or the world was created, past. Tomorrow may never come, but day of judgment will come. Day of judgment is a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yawmul Qiyamah is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will come. Today is Sunday, Monday may not come tomorrow. But a day of judgment will come. So when something is definite, for that the grammar of past is used. So qalu is the grammar of something which will definitely happen. And in the day of judgment, these things will happen, the paradise will happen, the hell will happen. So in the Quran you will see whenever they talk about the Qiyamah or Jannat or gardens or hell or anything, you will notice that the grammar of past tense is used there. In English. But it is not past tense, it is a grammar of something definite to happen. So, qalu means they said, but for our English understanding, we will translate they will say. Just for understanding in English language. So, I'm going to write down they will say, but the concept is that it is definitely going to happen. Definitely people will say. There is no doubt that by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising something, that a day will come and people will go to paradise and they will eat fruit and they will say, it is going to happen. Okay? So that is the reason this grammar is different for the hereafter. Okay? And when we see more, when it comes more, I'll point out to you. So this, but in English we'll say translate qalu, they will say, even though it is actually they said. Hadha lazi. Haza means this. So they will say, this they are pointing to the fruit. They will be given fruit to eat and they will say, Haza lazi, this is it. This it, okay? This, Haza means this. And Allazi means it. He says, this is it, okay? Now, one